Now jumping on the next point, what we have that how we can escalate the user's privilege and then gain the higher access. So you are an attacker, let's suppose that, right? And you just share some file over any victim machines and all those things, and then from there what I need that as an attacker, I just run that or as a victim, I just run that command with the help of normal users, right? So in that case or situations, right, so because that file or that payload run by the normal user, then you cannot as an attacker, you cannot access the full accessible permission over those systems, right? What you can do that you can run some kind of command, some kind of an extra mechanisms or tool that help you to exploit and then give you higher access with the same user authentications. We have some kind of tools and command that we're going to run on the Windows 11 machines as in victim machines, and then we just run some kind of certain command to get higher privileges access. What we just did, we need to create a payload, just share this payload over those victim machines and then run it and then get a meter-peter reverse TCP shell, correct? Okay, so what I'm going to do that, I'm going to simply run a command like msf enum payload. We have a payload is Windows. Under that, just mention your bytes and all those things. So this is options as well. So mention those shell. So we have like meter-peter, and then mention the reverse TCP. So we have a reverse reverse underscore TCP, and then mention those platforms. So this is optional for the same, either you can use the same like so we have platform that is x86, right? That is my Windows for the same. Sorry, platform is Windows and architecture is 86. Windows hyphen architecture is, we can say, x86, then hyphen e again, so we can say with sx86 slash we have a shikata, so we can use that as a okay. So we just mentioned that L host, in my case we have like 10.10. In my case we have 10.10.1.13, so that is my this point. Then file type is exe, and then just create a new .exe. Okay, so here we got a file. What I'm going to do that, I'm going to simple install Apache, right? Apache 2. Okay, and creating a some folder in the document root like where www.html something pay, and copy this new to that where www and pay, correct? And then start the service Apache 2 start, right? And what I'm going to do, I'm simply launching MSF console and then use that payload that we execute here, correct? Okay, so here use exploit multi handlers, correct? Set payload, we just use the payload Windows, right? meter-peter, correct? And then show option, we simple set lhost, that is 10.1.13, and then exploit, correct? Now I'm switching on my Windows machine. Okay, so what I'm going to do that, I'm going to simply download this for now 1.13/pay in my case, correct? Okay, so here we got a meter-peter shell, so that we get some limited privileges and all those things. It means what we can say when you're trying to run this command to getting the system more information, all those things, right? So we have these issues, right? If you notice now, what we have that, we have this issue like you cannot run this command and all. Why? Because you run this with the help of normal users, correct? And limited command you can execute like system info and all those things you can execute. It's like a process and way that we are not going to discuss now, right? Sysinfo you can run in now, but right, but to gather some extra information, all those things, you don't have option for the same, right? Now so you can run this get_id command and all those things working fine, right? But again, you want to run some kind of extra command and all those things, then you don't have permission to run those points, right? So to privilege those escalations and all, right, what I'm going to do that we have two tools actually, right? We can say we have like broot, okay, and we have like host pack seed build. So we have broot that allow to check the vulnerabilities of entire applications and all those things, and this application will maybe that disable or log those maybe the securities mechanisms that may be running inside your systems, So here we have a metapeta shell, let it run. Okay, what I'm going to do then, check those applications because I need those applications, right? The B root and then the ghost you can download from the GitHub, right? B root. I'm going to copy this on my desktop, and I also need that is suitable.exe. So what I'm going to do is simple. We are on the same path on those machines. I'm going to run the command like upload. Okay. So we have a path root under the not a root under the home. In my case, home attacker desktop run a B root file. Correct? It's uploaded over there. Correct? And also upload the seat build. Right? Under the desktop, we have file that name is seat build.exe. That's all. The both files are uploaded. Right? Now just run a shell to get a Windows shell. Correct? And then first by default on the same path. Now first run those files. Which one? The broot.exe. Hit enter. Right? It will run and then explore and then find those vulnerabilities over those Windows business. If you notice now, it will run that. If you notice now what they are mentioning again, right? So we have a two tools, right? broot and all, right? So that broot is run fine. If you notice now, checking the user admin details, task sheet, everything will check that. If you notice now, right? After that, what I need to do that I need to run this command like seat build, right? .exe. Okay, that's a program, and then we just mention I need to information about my system. It will show the system information, the user information, the misc file, many information we can gather with the help of this command, right? So just enter for now. It will show the user information, right? If you notice now, it will disable or check all those underlying layer, maybe that some kind of applications or that kind of authentication, right? So we have like WSys applications command, we have some kind of bindings command and all those things. It will disable and it will check all those authentications that help you to find those informations and those way. If you notice now, correct? So this is a point of those system. So we can gather those system information. Similarly, what we can do that we can simple use like seat build.exe. Then what I need that I need to find those user informations. What you can do that you can simple mention and find those users, right? So that user may be that Chromium users and all those things, right? So what I can mention that the users, it will show that the Chromium cloud credential that may be stored on your system, it will show that point too as well, right? Similarly, what you can do that you can also check that if something or maybe on the remote user. So what you can do that you can also run like seat build.exe. okay, then hyphen group, we can say misc, master and misc file, that is store your remote user information. So hit enter, it will show those user informations too as well, correct? So this is a point. So after that, when we run this command, we need to bypass those changes too as well, right? So again, after run those commands, just exit from those particular shell file. We have these argument and all those things, right? So let it run the misc file and all those things. Okay. So when it's run complete, the run is complete, then just exit from the shell and try to check those get system. So you cannot able to run those again, right? So what I need that I need to run a back, we can say I need to run the UAC, we can say the user access control or user account control module to bypass those applications that what we run that, right? So let it run, then I'll let you know. Just it will take time, not more than a minute, but again because these are some dependencies point and dependencies topics. Okay, clear with that? Sorry. Yeah. So what point we have that again कि हमने we just run those options, we'll complete those, right? And now exit. I hope I'm audible, right? Okay. So yeah. So just simple exit from the exit from this particular shell. Now, if you're trying to run the same command like again get system, if you remember that we have command like get system, right? So still we have error messages, right? So again, what we need to do that we need to bypass those changes, right? With the help of those particular command, right? Or we can run this command like dump. Dump is what we can say we are checking or we are reading the SAM file to get the Windows machines user password in the NTLM format, right? Even though you want to run this command, even though you cannot run that, like run, we have a post in the Windows, right? We have a gather, right? And under that we have like smart hash dump. If you notice now, even though we have error messages, you don't have permission like implicit privileges for the dump, right? But we run those commands. Now run this particular metadata in the background. Do not close that, right? So by default we got a session 1. Now you need to set a payload for the bypassing your application. So for that, do one thing, use exploit, right, Windows. What option we have? That Windows, and then we have like local, and then bypass user account control for helper, right? Just use this particular payload, and now in the show option, the very first point, we need to set the session. What session we have? That earlier we have session ID 1. So what option we have? That we have like a set session 1, it will set that, right? So the session are set. That we need to set the target. So what we have? That set target, we have a 0. Hit enter. Now exploit. So this payload will bypass all the changes that you require to get those authentications. If you notice, now it will run a kind of command in your Windows machines, right, as a forward helper.exe. Correct, it's run fine. Now do one thing, run a command like sessions -t1. Correct. Now what point we have? That finally what we can do, that we can simple set like get system. Okay, then we have a t1, it will change those. If you notice, now here we got a technique 1. It means what? It means now if you're trying to run this command like get system, right, earlier we have error message, but this time we are already running a system. It means now trying to run command like run Windows, run post, right, then we have like Windows, right, and in the Windows what we have, that to getting the information we have this point and those applications and all those things, right? So this time what you can do, that you can simply run Windows gather smart terms hash terms, right, hit enter. For now it will show those password in that way. If you notice, now this time like we have a user, and this is a user password in the NTLM format, right, and all those things, user and all. So we are just simple dumping the password hashing of those users. Correct. So it's not about that. If you might be, we get a normal user access, then with help of those normal user access, what we can do, we can simple exploit, and then we can authenticate those systems and applications too as well. Right? Even though we wanted to run some kind of run VNC and all those things, what we can do, that we can also get those particular graphically mechanism as well, right? We can say the graphically pop-up, that we can say desktop mechanisms, right? If you notice now that, right? So what we can get, that on your attacker machine we get this particular Windows machines graphically pop-up. It means whatever the Windows machines are doing, so this is my Windows machine, we close those things, right? So this changes automatically apply over here as well. This point what we have, that right, we have a tool, we can say those informations hiding mechanisms, right? So with the help of those mechanisms, what we can do, we can simple hide, or we can simple created undetectable applications for those Windows. Not exactly the same, but again we can configure some kind of application for those phones, the same thing. First what I need to do, that I need to create a simple kind of that applications that maybe your Windows applications could not capture those point and those applications. Okay, so let's suppose that we have application that's something new.exe, right? So we have actually tool, we online portal, we can see we have like virus total, right? What we have, that anti-scan me, and then we have like hybrid analysis, right? So this tool allow to scan those viruses and all, right? I'm going to simple launch like virus total, right? This is online portal for now, and I'm going to simple choose this file, and in my download file, this is virus file, I'm going to run that, right? We can say new.exe, right? So we are uploading this file and confirm this. So it will check all those viruses, antiviruses that may be captured by your this application, right? If you notice, now it's running, and those applications perform some kind of certain actions. Okay, so if you notice, now what we have, that we have a 71 antiviruses. In the 71, 51 is captured, right? And we can say these are antivirus that is not captured by this, like Alibaba Cloud, Baidu and all those things, right? So what we are going to do, that we are a crypto tool actually, right? This tool, simple launch this tool, right? In this tool, simple upload your file, the virus file actually. So we have virus file in my download file and all somewhere else. Okay, choose this file, okay, and simple startup file that should be run mutex, and disable those user account and all those things, right? And simple click on the encrypt, trying to store somewhere else in the download, we can save the crypt file.exe. Now save this file. Okay, so here we got another file with the encrypted format. So what we are going to do, that we are going to simple verify now, right? So let's suppose again we have this applications, correct? So choose file now. Now I'm going to choose that encrypted file, encrypted file, right? So this time earlier we have like 71 captured by the 56 application, but this time if you notice now we have a smaller that not going to capture those authentications, right? So if you notice now this time, right? So trying to so with the help of this mechanism, what we can do, you can hide and secure your virus applications that are not going to impact on the same. Okay, so this time if you notice now earlier that captured by the 56, but this time captured only the 42 applications, right? It means what we can say, these applications are undetected, right? We have like acronymic something and something like that, right? So it means again the point what we have that you need to secure your virus file that is undetectable and store victim machine, and many times whatever you want to do that you can use in that way. So there is a lot of mechanisms and tools, right? With the help of these mechanisms you can remain undetectable, right? And you can also hide those applications too as well. Either what we have that we have another point too as well, you can also cover anything with the help of any you can say those like we have a mechanism of the Steganography, right? Or we can say the Steganography mechanism. What is that exactly? So let's suppose that mechanism we may say that, let's suppose you have any kind of important file, right? So what you want then, you don't want to reveal those file, like no one can directly read this file, right? So what we can do that, we can simple cover that file. What we can do that, we can simple cover that file to any images maybe, or over any images back in the backend of any images or somewhere else. We can cover on those machines too as well. Okay, so if you notice now, so what exactly we have that, we have application installed that is OpenStacker. Okay, so launch these applications. Okay, so what I'm going to do that, let's suppose what I'm going to do that, just run this application site. Okay, what I'm going to do that, I'm going to simply create a file. Let's suppose we have important file, we can say something like text, we can say ABC file, and under the ABC file we can say this is important file, correct? Save this file, right? So we cannot leave this file as it is. What I'm going to do, I'm going to simple hide or cover this file to any images, background of any images and all those things, right? So in that case, let me download an images, right? So what I'm going to do that, I'm going to simple download the images. Let's suppose Webasha logo, just for example, right? So we have something photos, we can say something like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do that, I'm going to simple save these images. We can in any mechanism. So let's suppose I'm going to save on the desktop with the name of something web images, right? So we have images. What I'm going to do that, I'm going to hide this over any images. So what option we have that, simply click on the hide, which file you have there, to choose your file. So in my case, you have file on my desktop, that name is something abc.txt, and cover to, so we have an image that name is web.images. So I'm going to cover on this particular web.images, right? And store somewhere else. I'm going to store on somewhere else, means we can say that something new dot something file, we can say new file on the same path where on the desktop, we can say that, right? Either what you can do that, you can simple upload, and then on I'm going to choose the desktop section with the name of new, right? So we'll create a file with the name of new on the same desktop path, correct? Now that's all. You wanted to set the password, you can set the password. For the security mechanism, we can set 123 in the AES 128 algorithm. Simply click on the hide, right? So it's hide now, and here you got an applications, right? new.vp. It means what, even though if you delete this file, not a problem, right? We have a file that we have an image that name is something new. If you click on this file, it will open as the images, right? But this file contain your hidden informations, right? And you are a genuine user, then what you can do that, you can simple extract your file from here. So if you notice now, we don't have a file with the name of ABC here yet on the desktop. So what I'm going to do that, I'm going to simply extract those things. So simple click on the extract now. Now choose the input file. So I'm going to simple select my new file, and where I want to extract that, I want to extract in my desktop location, something like that. Okay, and what's the password? Simple set the password, click on the extract, it will extract those file, and here you got a file again. And when you click on this file, the file are remain same. Okay, with that, this Steganography and all those are like these are like mechanism where we can cover any important file behind any photos, videos and all.